All right, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? We're riding on Michelin's new Road 5. The Michelin Road 5. Michelin says this tire is all new for 2018. It replaces their pilot Road 4 that they introduced in the spring of 2014, I think it was, 2013. And it's all new from Michelin. The casing's all new, compounds, tread pattern, everything. And you know, one fun fact that I learned about this tire that I think is really neat is that the mold, the actual mold that Michelin used to create this tire, is a 3D printed mold. What that allowed is it allowed Michelin to really get the tread pattern and the curvature of the tread just right. You know, that's one of the big things about this tire, is even though it's got less tread area, the cutouts of the sipes, they're trapezoidal in nature, where as the tire wears, it actually displaces more water as it wears. It's pretty neat. You know, Michelin also says that, you know, a worn Road 5 with 3,000 miles is actually performs better in terms of braking than a brand new pilot Road 4. Which is pretty neat, because the pilot Road 4 was definitely no slouch when it comes to grip in full wet conditions. So it's cool. We're just leaving Monte Blanco Raceway here in southern Spain. This is where Michelin chose to hold its international press launch for the new Road 5. Basically, Michelin gets everyone from all over the world to come over and fly here, get to be wined and dined for a night or two, and go for a quick rip on these new tires. Now, obviously, you know, we're not going to be, due to the nature of these events, you don't really log that many miles on these tires, which is kind of weird, because you'd think for a motorcycle tire launch, you'd think you'd want to ride a ton of miles, which you definitely do. So we're not going to be able to fully evaluate these tires in terms of their durability and that kind of stuff. But, you know, this quick little 80-mile, 70-mile ride will give us a good taste of what these tires are going to be like. And right away, just hopping on this KTM 1290 Super Duke GT, you know, the tires feel good, they don't feel weird. I think this bike comes stock with God, I can't remember, I think Pirelli's actually, but it's been a while since I've ridden this bike. But these tires are feeling just fine right off the get-go. And I remember that with the previous Road 4s as well. So that's the big thing with these Road 5s, is just the tread pattern has been tweaked. There's a little bit less tread area, especially on the shoulder areas of the tire. Taking a little time out here real quick. Of course, it probably won't be enough time to fix this glove, but it's okay. Right now I'm wearing the Revit Abbott Road glove. I really like these gloves. These gloves look super awesome. They're really comfortable. I really like everything that Revit's doing right now. As a matter of fact, they are one gear brand to watch. They're really making some good product right now. And the best part is it's not even that expensive. I mean, it's definitely a little bit more expensive than your bargain basement brands would be, but, you know, it's quality stuff. Really well engineered, really functional, and it works good. But back to Michelin's Road 5 tire. And that's what's really changed about these tires, is Michelin went, basically they went a more aggressive route with their new sport touring tire. You know, the Road 4, the Pilot Road 4, it was a great tire, but it did have some limitations, especially in the dry, especially when you were getting after it. There was quite a bit of tread squirm. The tires were a little bit, I guess, a little bit mushy, not terrible by any means. I actually kind of liked it because they had real good feel. But Michelin's trying to get some of that performance back. They went with a casing that's got a little bit extra rigidity, you know, due to the ACT Plus technology is what Michelin calls it. Basically, it's a ply layer that's laid across the main ply on the shoulder, and it just basically stiffens up the side of the tire, and it complements that 2CT Plus rubber formulas too. And what that is it's a strip of harder rubber that's actually underneath the softer shoulder stuff. So a lot of other motorcycle tire brands, when they have dual compound zones, this shoulder compound will be all totally different than the center compound. Well, the shoulder compound on this tire, on the rear tire, is different, but if you get low enough on it, it actually is the same compound that's used in the center. And Michelin says that it does that to actually increase the rigidity of the tire, again, at lean. Now, speaking of compounds, the previous Road 4 was a silica-based compound throughout. Michelin went to a more aggressive carbon black on the shoulder. So even though the area isn't as wide as it is on the Pilot Road 4, I know this is kind of getting confusing. You really need to look at the diagrams to really understand this stuff. But the carbon black rubber actually has more adhesion, and it complements that side of the tire without the tread. So basically what Michelin's thinking with this tire is, in the dry, you want to haul butt. You want a good, stiff, rigid tire with tons of grip in the dry for hauling butt. You know, when you're riding in the rain, realistically, you're not going to be leaning the bike over that far. At least you shouldn't be. And that's what they're thinking with this tire. So for you guys who ride in the wet, you're still going to have a lot of grip, you know, just as long as you don't lean the bike over totally crazy style. But I would never do that in the wet anyways. And then in the dry, you got that big contact patch, big barren treadless contact patch with that carbon black compound. That's a little bit more, it wears a little bit quicker, you know, but it gives you better grip. So it's give and take. Durability wise, Michelin still touts these tires as being just as good as the old Road 4s. We never got to log enough miles to wear out a pair of Road 4s, so I really can't comment on the actual durability of those tires, but I never heard anything bad in the motorcycling community about them. Right now I'm messing with this KTM mirror. It's one of the flaws on this KTM bike. These mirrors always come loose and are just kind of goofy when they get like that. Back to the tires. Bike feels real nimble. I don't feel anything strange. They're black, they're round, they're sticky, they're French, but they're made in Spain, technically. You know, with anything, the price always creeps up on new everything usually, and these tires are going to be a little bit more expensive than the Road 4s. Later on, we're supposed to be able to ride these tires real quick in a simulated wet environment. They actually are watering down the pavement. So, you know, you really can't get a good feel these days with that, because all these bikes have ABS, so it kind of mutes the actual tire feel, because you're just getting on the brakes anyways and letting the computer modulate the braking pulse to ensure that the tire doesn't lock up. But it's still cool that we're able to sample that. We're also apparently going to be riding on the racetrack for a couple laps, so it'll be cool to see how much grip those things have. I was always a big fan of the Road 4. Like I said, they were a little bit gummy feeling, a little a little gummy feeling, but I like that because when those tires flex a little bit like that and have a little bit of tread squirm, it just gives me feel. And I'm a rider who really loves feel. If I have good feeling on the bike, I can ride pretty hard and feel good. If I don't have a good connection with the bike and the tires, I can't ride so good. So, you know, I always like to have a little bit extra feel. Yeah, if the things move around a little bit, who cares? You know, as long as I'm feeling what's going on and I know what the limit is, it's all good. In fact, it kind of makes it more fun when the limit's a little bit lower, because you don't have to be going so balls to the wall to get your adrenaline kicks. You know, if you're interested in these Michelin Road 5s, they only come in 17-inch sizes for this specification. They have a trail version. It's kind of oddly named because it's called trail, but really it's not for the trail. It's not for off-road. It's for big ADV street bikes, and those have 19-inch options for those guys. But they're not going to be out for a little bit here. Right now we got the 17-inch size, 120 60 17 front, 120 70 17 front as well, 2 options. And then rears go from 150 70, 160 60, 180 55, 190 50, and a 190 55 rear. You know, if you're interested in getting some of these tires, really appreciate if you went through the description link below in this video. That'll take you right to Amazon. We all love Amazon. Fast, easy, quick shipping, easy returns, good competitive pricing, and it'll go really far to help support this channel. I'm on my own these days, so I'm going to need a little bit of help from you guys if you want. So if you're in the market to buy some Road 5s, I would be very much obliged if you went through that link in the description here. Talk a little bit about this KTM bike. I spent some time on it this summer helping some friends with a photo shoot during my vacation, and God, I really came to love this bike. This bike kicks butt. It's amazing that it didn't sell better in the United States, because it's actually a pretty good touring bike. I mean, yeah, it kind of shakes, rattles, and rolls a little bit too much for, you know, to really be a touring bike, but God, it's got so much character. It handles so good. It's just a fun bike. It just wants to go. It will be nice to spend some track miles on this thing and, you know, really feel these tires. These mild street pace street rides that we're going on, honestly, you can't feel anything about these tires at these paces. You know, you really got to be wailing. That guy just blew the stop sign. You really got to be wailing to really get a good feel out of these tires. I mean, the reality of things are these days is everyone makes a good tire. IRC makes a good tire. Shinko makes a good tire. Everyone makes a good tire. So to really see who's boss and who's really doing it, you gotta be at the racetrack and you gotta be wailing on these things. That separates the men from the boys. God, this bike has so much grunt. Just twist the throttle and the thing just leaps forward. That big LC8 engine, V-twin. God, this thing just rules. I wonder what our leader is looking behind for. Right now we're on a group ride, a lead follow group ride, so this is my leader and I'm not allowed to pass him. Sure, I would like to right now. I mean, just look at that road ahead of us, but no passing. Lead follow. I think you guys who want a more sporty sport touring tire, I think you're probably gonna like what Michelin's done. Again, just generally more sporty. Michelin thinks that you're going to be hauling more butt in the dry, leaning the bike over more, so they want that extra grip, that extra rigidity when you're doing that, but they don't want to give up any wet weather performance. And that's what this tire offers. Again, that 3D printing mold allowed them to have a tread pattern that's very, very intricate. You know, it really allows that tire to move a lot of water when you're straight up and down and when you're leaned over, you know, in the middle part of the tire. You know, you can't lean this thing over and knee on deck in the wet, but you can definitely lean it over. You got to remember, when you're riding these bikes, you know, most of the time you're not even leaning the bike that much, even when you are going around turns. You're really only on the true edge of the tire when you're like really getting after it, you know, on your favorite curvy back road or at the track. What else do you guys want to see? I'm going to be posting this video right now, today, live from the event. We'll have some more videos on this Michelin Road 5 tire, some behind the scenes videos too. Make sure you check out my YouTube profile, youtube.com/Adam Waheed, see all the videos. Let me know, do you like seeing the behind the scenes stuff? Do you like seeing the reviews? Do you want to see these POV reviews? Do you want me to take some time and edit some polished reviews? That stuff always takes more time, but I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. And yeah, just feel free to leave a comment, let me know what's up. So finally we got some turns, finally we're getting some speed. Still not riding that quickly, but we're at least being able to feel these tires a little more. And I gotta say, these tires, they have, right away I'm actually noticing that these things do feel like they have a little bit less tread squirm. The rigidity of these tires feels a little bit higher. I mean, it's still kind of hard to tell because we're not really going fast enough to load the tires, but you can kind of feel it a little bit. Handling's really nice, real smooth. Bike goes exactly where you want it to go. Real linear feeling from straight up and down into a little bit of lean. Overall, there's not really anything I can say bad about these things. Working just fine. But to be fair, everyone's making a pretty dang good tire these days. And I mean, if you're a motorcycle rider, God, we live in the time right now. Between the sheer amount of awesome bikes that we have to choose from, to the insanely fabulous gear from companies like Revit, to the tires that we're riding these bikes on, God, we have it good. We have it so good. If you ever thought about riding a motorcycle and you just happen to get on this page, you know, take some time. Riding a bike is a good way to save yourself some time and aggravation, especially if you live in cities like Los Angeles. It's also a really good way to have some fun, get your kicks. Look at this van guy up here, he's kind of getting some. The Peugeot van. Alright guys, that's enough for now. We'll check in back with you here at the racetrack or during the wet weather braking test. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.